Hey, Crab from the future here. So, this video was supposed to be out by last Saturday, but due to me not liking the final product, as well as a coworker at my job quitting, thereby putting all of his work on my plate, I haven't actually had much time. So obviously this video is going to be outdated by the time it releases, but I wanted to commit to my promise in making sure this video is out. So with that out of the way, enjoy the video.
Sorry I'm late, the alarm was...
What the f is wrong with you?
Peter.
Tell you I ain't been feeling good? You know what? I wet my ass with your feelings. We're under a microscope and I got a hair on the street. You
Soiled.
some civilian in the foot because he made you wait for buns?
Peter.
Don't blink.
Peter.
You want to be a big bad guy?
Andrea.
I was worried that I didn't
Shut up! Oh, it took a little bit, but finally, we have Xbox Salt.
Finally!
Here I was, working on the Forbidden West Salt video when Xbox fanboys finally decided they were tired of playing second fiddle and just straight up decided to start spoiling the upcoming Spider-Man 2. Spoilers yours truly got hit by. Much like the people who do this sort of thing for console wars should be hit in the face with a brick. Until they can no longer perform basic tasks. Because God forbid you guys can play games. And to the person who decided to spoil me, well, let's just say, I hope Windex is sprayed directly into your eyes for the rest of your days. Seriously, fanboys, I gotta ask, how severe were the beatings your parents gave you as a kid? I just want to know if it was too hard or not hard enough. Look. When PlayStation fanboys were spoiling Starfield weeks before release, you guys had a chance. You had the opportunity to prove once and for all you idiots aren't as bad as them, and that you don't stoop to their level. And all you guys had to do was not spoil Spider-Man. That's all. That was the bare minimum. You could have pretended you guys weren't as bad as the ponies. You guys have a new Forza game out. You could have focused on that. But nope. I guess that forbidden fruit in the Garden of Console Wars was too great to ignore. So congrats guys. Now it's your turn to get clowned on.
You stupid.
Now, with that out of the way, we gotta talk about two very specific fanboys, that being Andrea Piccini and Peter Ovo, because all this culminated with these two fuckwits. Because you see, Andrea apparently doesn't know how the internet works, because her response to people harassing her, which I cannot stress enough you shouldn't do, was to just start tweeting out spoilers for the upcoming Marvel game.
What?
Wow, what a good move that totally won't backfire against people who just happen to follow her for some reason and are looking forward to the game. Her first response wasn't to mute or block the accounts doing it. It wasn't to report and move on. It wasn't to log off for the day and let them scream into the void and then come back a day or two later when they're all gone. Hell, she didn't even consider DMing them the spoilers so only they would get spoiled. No. She decided, in all of her wisdom, to spew the spoiler out into the public so anyone and everyone, either involved or not, will get hit. Good job, you fucking dunce! You just gave ponies all the ammunition they need to go after you even harder. And look, I gotta be honest, if your entire online persona is dedicated to console warring, putting down the competition and normal fans of them, keyword here being normal, you gotta expect some shit to be slinging your way. The internet is not for the faint of heart, nor is it for people who can't take criticism like a certain budget Jimmy Neutron PS fanboy we all know. The point is, if you can't take the heat,
Allow me to break the ice.
And Andrea has proven she cannot take the heat. So of course, everyone started calling her out because harassment or no, two wrongs do not make a right. Harassing someone is bad. Spoiling a new game for people, a game that isn't even out yet, I remind you, is bad. You can say both are bad without appearing to be a hypocrite. Are they in the same degree? No. But that doesn't justify the shitty action of spoiling the game for everyone who can see your fucking tweet, because that's the difference here. If the asshats harassing her got DM spoiled, there wouldn't be much of a problem, because they poked the bear and they got flack back. But she did it publicly, where anyone in the world can scroll down the For You tab and it can just pop up because Spider-Man happens to be trending, thereby affecting those outside of the stupid console war bubble. And that's super shitty. I really shouldn't have to explain this, but we're dealing with grown-ass adults who have the emotional maturity of a 12-year-old. So friend of the show, Oh No It's Alex, decided to throw his hat in the ring, calling out the shitty behavior and how you shouldn't excuse it, given there were a litany of alternative solutions she could have gone through to avoid spoiling people who had nothing to do with said initial conflict. And of course, here comes White Knight simp Peter Ovo to protect his lady's liberty. I'll read out the interactions from here because, dear God, he is desperate. But before I do, I want to bring this tweet of his regarding Spider-Man 2 spoilers to the forefront of your mind. Keep this tweet in mind as we go forward, as it's an excellent example of watch what people do, not what they say.
Thursday, 7 a.m. Eastern. I can understand why Andrea posted a spoiler after the constant harassment from the PS fanboys, plus the same ones crying victim because of the Spider-Man victims are the same ones that kept posting Starfield spoilers. Hilarious watching this all play out. Nope. All she had to do was report, block, and keep moving. Instead, she decided to spoil a game a lot of people were looking forward to. Two wrongs don't make a right. I support her. Personally, I wouldn't have done that, but fuck those dudes.
Good, because your opinion matters.
Yeah, you know what? You're right, Peter. Fuck those dudes. That's why she should have either reported them, blocked them, or DM'd the spoilers to just them. That way, no random person who just happens to be scrolling the For You tab gets hit, because I can personally attest to how awful that tab can be at just bringing shit to your feed as long as the topic matches what you talk about, regardless of whether or not you follow them or if anyone you follow does. Honestly, it's a fucking terrible tab to use, but I have to because for some ungodly reason, that's the only tab that actually gives me the most recent tweets from the people I follow. Yeah, thanks Elon, you brain-damaged Richie Rich wannabe. God. What the fuck was I talking about? Oh, right.
Reforged Gaming was right about Oh No It's Alex. Alex is now excusing the constant harassing of a woman because he wants to make a YouTube video mocking her. He does not care about harassment, he only cares about making YouTube ad.
That is one big pile of shit.
Oh, blow it out your ass, Peter. Blow it right out your ass. He did not excuse the harassment. Andrea is an adult who participates in console wars on the internet. Even the most wholesome of YouTubers and people online get hit with harassment now and again. Because guess what? The internet kinda breeds that sort of thing. She has the tools to deal with these sorts of things, and her mistake is even engaging with them to begin with, because that's what they want. All she has to do, when they pop up, is block, report, and move on. Or she can mute them, because that allows them to believe their tweets are being seen by her, when in reality, she neither gets the alert for the response, nor do they even pop up in the thread for her. But instead of thinking critically, she decided to behave like an emotionally immature child would. And look, I get it. Sometimes things people say can cut deep, and can result in a rash, unsound decision because your emotional response is overwhelming your logical response. I truly get that. And it would be one thing if she quickly deleted it and maybe apologized for accidentally spoiling people she did not intend to. Hell, doesn't even really have to apologize, could just say it was a dumb tweet made in anger and moved on. But she didn't do that. In the thread where it happened, she not only doubled down on it, but proceeded to blame the guy calling her out, saying it's on him for coming to the thread. And as he so rightly points out, it wasn't a text tweet that people could mute via keywords. No. She had an image ready to go. And to me, and this is just my conspiracy cap going on, it would not surprise me if she was just looking for an excuse to post it. Like I said, that's my conspiracy cap, but when you deal with fanboys who dox patients, create fake GoFundMes to scam people for an Xbox, threaten other fanboys' families, anything at this point is plausible.
I've stumbled onto a major company conspiracy, Mac. How about that for stress?
That's not true, at PeterOvo5. The only harm done with spoilers and hating on games is to the developers and studios and true gamers. None of it harms console warriors. I would agree with Oh No It's Alex block and report is the right thing to do. He is not defending the harassment. How about they stop harassing her? Problem solved. Spoiling a game isn't going to stop harassment. You don't fight fire with fire. There are more important things in life than video game spoilers. The fact that you want to overlook the harassment of a woman is facing is concerning. No one is overlooking the harassment, but her action won't stop it either. But it may upset those that were looking forward to the game that now feel it has been spoiled for them. If they feel upset, then they should tell their friends to stop harassing her.
Here, please hit me as hard as you can.
I swear to God, I'm going to have an aneurysm reading this troglodyte attempt argumentation. As Gagey rightly pointed out, spoiling the game isn't going to stop the harassment. In fact, it'll likely result in worse harassment because trolls will want to egg her on, and boom, she's now a lolcow. Someone people specifically go to with the intent of getting them upset and trying to get them to do stupid shit. Stop excusing her behavior because she's facing harassment. We all do. I get told to kill myself at least once a week. Hell, when I was streaming Final Fantasy 16, I had some smooth brain in the chat saying vile things about me, my family, and the people who watch me, and this was after he left 160 plus, I'm not even kidding, comments on the video beforehand, all because I said I do not care if Activision Blizzard games come to Game Pass at the time. Dude was unhinged, and I admit, I engaged a little more than I should have, but I stopped, and just started to block his numerous sock accounts he was making. Once I and everyone in chat stopped responding, and he kept getting blocked, he eventually left. Probably to harass another YouTuber, as that apparently seems to be his shtick. If she doesn't engage and blocks, they'll eventually stop, or at the very least slow down, because like I said, participating in console wars kinda breeds this level of toxicity. Hell, not even a day after this entire mess, Andrea started going after anyone and everyone who said Gran Turismo 7 looked better than Forza Motorsport. Like, come the fuck on, my guy. It doesn't take a degree in psychology to see why these people flock to her tweets. Should it happen? No. Quite frankly, a lot of you fanboys should just fade into obscurity. But it does. And the best thing we can do is learn how to deal with it appropriately. You know, it's funny too, because when I went to the thread where the harassment that led to the spoiler happened, because, you know, I already got spoiled, so I can actually view this. I gotta be real, most of it was people either saying you can easily shut down the trolls by showing your face, which honestly, no, she shouldn't have to show her face. Or people parading around a fake photo of her, which if it's not even of her and just some random nobody, the only person who should be legitimately upset is the guy in the picture.
What is so hard to understand about this?
There was one comment that said the F slur, but that's not the person she spoiled. Peter Ovo, in all his wisdom, posts a quote retweet of a douchebag calling for her to be raped and killed after the spoiler already happened as a way of defending her actions. And as Fratanga points out, it's really super suspect that despite the tweet being 3 hours old, Peter is seemingly the first person to view it.
Been seeming sus lately.
Because even tweets that have no engagements have at least a couple views by the time 3 hours pass. But hey, look at that! The account was suspended! Wow! Almost as if that's all she has to do!
My goodness, what an idea. Why didn't I think of that?
Nah, she earned the harassment, LMFAO. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. This is like saying the girl wearing a miniskirt deserves to get raped because she wore a miniskirt.
Okay. Sorry, I really needed to scream the frustration out because there's no way this moron just compared online harassment to rape. Okay, let's go through this step by step. 1. Jay said it in the most ass way possible, and I wouldn't say she earned it. But what I would say is what I've been saying this entire video. When your entire persona is around fueling and participating in console wars, you have to expect some form of unhinged replies coming your way. This is not the same as saying a woman deserves to get raped because she wears a short skirt. Because, first of all, equating real-life sexual assault to mean words on the internet is an insult to actual sexual assault victims. But furthermore, it's not even the correct analogy because your analogy assumes Andrea is simply minding her own business, which No, she isn't. As I said earlier, she actively participates in console wars, goes after anyone who even has slightly negative things to say about any Xbox game. A more appropriate analogy would be, don't be surprised you get burned after playing with fire. If you poke the bear will fight back. Alex correctly tweets simply, "What the fuck?" And Peter Ovo, demonstrating his vast lack of intellect, thinks he's pretending he doesn't know what an analogy is, when in fact he's reeling from the absurd comparison between online harassment and real life sexual assault. Because that's fucking absurd and quite frankly, deplorable and disgusting. It's downplaying the real life horrifying act, and you should be ashamed you even thought to make the ridiculous comparison. All because you had to defend some random woman on the internet. That's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you all for tuning in. Once again, I cannot stress this enough. Do not harass Andrea or Peter. Let them fade into obscurity. Let this be a lesson in how to use the tools at your disposal instead of stooping to your opposition's level. I was planning to put some Xbot salt over the Spider-Man review scores that dropped today at the end, but this video ended up being longer than I generally like, so I'm probably just gonna spin that off into a second video later this week. As I said last night, a friend of mine is returning from her streaming hiatus, so I likely won't be streaming Amnesia, but probably will maybe Wednesday night, so look forward to that. As always, if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, and subscribe if you feel so inclined. If you want to support the channel, consider becoming a member. For only 99 cents a month, you get access to the community Discord, the Crab Shack. Once you're in for good, as well as these emails to harass me with live on streams. And with all that out of the way, I will see you guys in the next video.